Justice Minister Malami, angry, opposed to recent raid, arrest exposing rich suspect allegedly funding Boko Haram. Source said. A top source in government told Sahara reporters how Malami was opposed to raid and subsequently at loggerheads with the task force for crying it out. Nigeria's Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, senior advocate of Nigeria, is unhappy and angry about the recent arrest of some persons allegedly funding Boko Haram terrorists, including operators of some bureau de change said to have been facilitating the transfer of money to the terrorists, Sahara reporters has lamented. A top source in government told Sahara reporters how Malami was opposed to the raid and subsequently at loggerheads with the task force for carrying it out. It had earlier been reported how about 400 persons were arrested for allegedly funding Boko Haram terrorists. The series of arrests were made in Kano, Borno, Abuja, Lagos, Sokoto, Adamawa, Kaduna, and Zamfara, according to a Daily Trust report. It was also reported that traders at the foreign exchange open market in Wapa Fage local government were picked up on March 9, 15th, and 16th. Meanwhile, according to the source, apart from Malami opposing the raid, he also opposes having the names of those arrested released to the public. Malami was opposed to the raid and now he opposes having the names of those arrested revealed, so he is fighting the task force that carried out the raid. He is saying it was illegal. You see, some of those arrested were people he had freed through his special fiat court that sat in Niger State and part of Abuja. Those guys are wealthy and he wants to collect money from them and let them off, the source told Sahara reporters. Okay, that's the reason why he is against the arrest, so that he could collect bribe or set them free on bail. Well, that's Malami's issue. But it has been reported that 19 bureau de change owned by persons with direct connection with Boko Haram were uncovered, while over 300 billion naira was found to have been pumped into the funding of terrorism in the country. So there is a huge amount of money involved, transferred through illicit means. Those arrested are reportedly being kept in military and Department of State Services facility in Abuja and other places. Now, the bureau de change, they are using that means to launder money to the Boko Haram. But when it came to Bitcoin and some other things, when Sunday Igboho, who was not a criminal, has not even terrorized anybody, they said Bitcoin cannot be purchased through Naira again. Now I'm expecting the federal government to ban bureau de change. They should ban them. If not, this will be a big crisis. Because Sunday Igboho has not even done anything. The insurgency that has been going on for over 9 years now, killing of so many people. If it were to be Sunday Igboho, they would have said, okay, they will ban those bureau de change sponsoring those Boko Haram. Well, but despite Malami's resistance to having their names revealed to the public, the identities of some bureau de change operators arrested for facilitating the transfer of money to the terrorists have been revealed. Some of them were traders at the foreign exchange open market in Wapa Fage local government of Kano State and identified as Baba Hussaini, Abubakar Yellow Amfani, Yusuf Ali Yusuf Babangida, Ibrahim Shani, Awal Fage, and Muhammad Lawan Sani, a gold dealer, according to a Daily Trust post. Despite being the nation that has suffered the heaviest casualties through Boko Haram atrocity for many years, with over 30,000 people killed and millions of others displaced, Nigeria has shown weakness in dealing decisively with the terrorists and blocking their source of funding. He took a course in the United Arab Emirates in 2020 to jail 6 Nigerians for funding the terror group. In November 2020, there were reports of how 6 Nigerians were facing prison terms of 10 years to life after a federal appeal court in the United Arab Emirates upheld their convictions for funding the terrorist group Boko Haram. The accused were initially tried and convicted in 2019 following their arrest in 2017. The court in Abu Dhabi therefore sentenced Surajo Abubakar Muhammad and Saleh Yusuf Adamu to life imprisonment. Ibrahim Ali Al-Hassan, Abdurrahman Ado Musa, Bashir Ali Yusuf, and Muhammad Ibrahim Isa were each given a 10-year sentence. The court judgment said between 2015 and 2016, the accused transferred the sum of $782,000 from Dubai to Nigeria to benefit Boko Haram. Following the successful trial of these 6 persons in the UAE. Wow. Let me even go back. They said the court judgment said between 2015 and 2017, the accused transferred the sum of $722,000. That's a huge sum of money. And no, so that's the reason why they've been selling those ammunition that is meant for soldiers or the army. They've been selling it to those Boko Haram to get funds. Wow. Buratai shouldn't be deduced from this crime. He also needed to be arrested because he has sold so many of the weapons to those Boko Haram. So they were the one funding Boko Haram, so they've been collecting money. Well, following the successful trial of the 6 persons in the UAE, which was a smack in the face for the Nigerian government, an embarrassed presidency felt it had to do something to save its face. With the international community already doubting its commitment to the fight against terrorism and insurgency in the country. In March 2021, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity Garba Shehu said the Nigerian government had arrested some Bureau de Change operators who were facilitating the transfer of money to Boko Haram terrorists. He had said some Nigerians transferring money to the sect from the United Arab Emirates UAE were working with the BDC operators, which is the Bureau de Change. The Bureau de Change are facilitating money to terrorists. Concerning this Bureau de Change, I'm still saying it. They need to look into this Bureau de Change. The same way they ban Bitcoin exchange to Naira, they should also look into this Bureau de Change and ban it because if it was supposed to Sunday Igboho that they've been sponsored, they would have banned it long ago. They need to look into this matter, or better still, there should be a protest that the Bitcoin to Naira should come back to effect as soon as possible if they cannot do anything to this Bureau de Change. We have already worked with the UAE. Conventions have been achieved if Nigerians who are transferring money to the Boko Haram terrorists, and this also happens domestically. And I tell you that by the time we finish this investigation, the shocking details will surprise many Nigerians, Shehu had said. In February 2018, a Nigerian court in Kainji, Niger State freed 475 Boko Haram suspects, with those released for lack of evidence far outweighing those convicted of being members of the Islamic militant group. According to the Justice Ministry, some were suffering from mental illness, but it was not clear whether the conditions existed before their arrest. So when they arrest them, so they are now telling us they are mentally disordered. They lost their memory for joining Boko Haram, for killing people. Well, also at a mass trial held in October 2017, more than 400 suspects were released, with just 45 jailed for their roles in the Boko Haram insurgency. The AGF and Justice Minister Malami had told the BBC that the released suspects would be rehabilitated before being allowed to return to their family. Just last weekend, governors of the state battling with Boko Haram terrorism in the northeast asked the Nigerian government to issue a special fiat, different from the general one issued earlier, to enable them to speedily prosecute suspects arrested for terrorism. In separate interviews with Sunday Punch, the governors of Adamawa, Borno and Yobe State, who spoke through their commissioners of justice and attorney general, noted that the fiat issued by Malami, which allows states to prosecute federal offenses, was not enough to prosecute suspect terrorists. For instance, Commissioner for Justice in Borno State, Mr. Kakashewu Lawan, confirmed receiving from the AGF the general fiat to prosecute federal offenders, but noted that they needed specific fiat for cases related to Boko Haram. Shehu, who spoke on behalf of Governor Babagana Zulum, said, "Yes, I am in receipt of the general fiat by the Attorney General of the Federation to prosecute all offenders who commit federal offenses in any of the 36 states of the Federation. But Malami didn't give us a specific fiat to prosecute Boko Haram insurgents. What we want from the Attorney General of the Federation is for him to give us a specific fiat and collaboration to prosecute Boko Haram insurgents in the 3 states of Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states, where the Boko Haram insurgents commit crime against the Nigeria Federation. You can see the reason why the soldiers, our Nigerian army, couldn't even conquer or overwhelm this Boko Haram of a thing. Can you hear the huge amount of money that has been released from different countries, especially from UAE, United Arab Emirates, down to Nigeria? So Buratai should be arrested also. The chief of defense staff also should be arrested. Then the former chief of army staff, former chief of defense staff, and former chief of air staff, they are supposed to be arrested because they are the ones selling all those weapons. You understand? Well, this is where I will stop. I would like you to share your comment and don't forget to subscribe and share this news. Thank you for listening, and God bless.